Hey everybody, this is Jan at Viking. I'm here with Dick Jones' airplane. We're doing a kind of like a little annual inspection, just quickly going over the installation and just kind of documenting what we're doing so that to the benefit of others. Right now we're going to start by just reversing this one bolt for the attachment of the gearbox, which tends to be in a location that kind of rubs the cowling a little bit. So we're going to do that as step number one. Okay, so we replaced the direction of that bolt. That clears the cowling a little bit better. The next thing we're going to do is Dick has one of the earlier 130 Viking engines. Doesn't need a lot of upgrade, but we noticed there's a bolt here that's a tiny bit loose, so we're going to tighten him up. And then we have add-on to the engine, which is a idler pulley that keeps this belt from some flapping around, and we're going to install that and show pictures of that. Okay, so we got the idler pulley installed. Basically, it piggybacks on the engine mounting bracket with a little longer bolts, and you just barely touch it. It's not there for tensioning, it's just there to keep this belt from vibrating. So it touches the belt a little bit. Rerouting of, not rerouting, but just a little bit of reorganization of the cooling lines are required to give room for that. Alright, Dick's got the steel bungee set up on his plane, so we're servicing that. Right now you can see the engine is actually keeping it down a little bit, and we would have to lift the engine up to take up that gap. We do want to add a little bit more preload so that the spring holds the engine up to this point. And all we're going to do there is tighten these just a little bit on each side until it lifts the airplane up by itself without having to lift the engine when we bounce it up and down a little bit. Like if we were to bounce it like this, we want the thing to be able to retract on its own. Okay, so we're completing the inspection of Dick Jones' airplane. He's been here working with us. Here's a problem that he had that we also had on our airplane, which is you can't really fill the tanks all the way because fuel will start siphoning out of the bottom vents. So what we did is we took some sealer and we plugged up the bottom vents and we added vents to the top. There's a couple benefits of that. We basically just removed the little locks in here, took the caps apart, pushed the locks out, tapped it 1/8 NPT and put these in. I think even John Croak has a little video on how to do that. And that allows us to fill the tank all the way up, and then from the cockpit we can now view the vents. If for some strange reason at some point it was to siphon out of the tank, we could see it. It won't. In fact, that was the problem before, and that's the problem we have corrected. So now we can fill the tanks all the way and not worry about losing fuel.